Every football fan has the same dream to at least once in their life either play in the Super Bowl if you're a football player or go to the Super Bowl if you're a football fan. And this year, the Super Bowl is coming back to the Bay, and it's going to be at Levi Stadium. And here's the simple question. Where do you stay when you're going to the Super Bowl at Levi Stadium? Do you stay near the stadium down in Santa Clara, or do you want to stay in San Francisco, in the city? You know, the San Francisco 49ers, I think they play the farthest away from their home city of any team in the NFL. They're about 45 miles away in Santa Clara as opposed to playing in San Francisco. So like, for example, the Giants and the Jets, who don't play in New York City, they play in New Jersey. That's about 11 to 12 miles away. So significantly closer. But anyway, so that's kind of a unique thing about Levi Stadium, is its distance from San Francisco. So technically, San Francisco is considered the host city for the Super Bowl this year, and it is a great place to go and party and have a good time. In this episode of Gentleman's Guide to Awesome, we're going to talk all about going to Levi Stadium, going in and hanging out in San Francisco, and like, what do you want to do? So first and foremost, my longtime good friend, former coworker, Don Shea, who's been a season ticket holder, I want to say for like 20 plus years, has certainly from their days in Candlestick before they even got to Levi Stadium. So I don't even know. It's been a long time. So she and her husband and their family invited me to join them for a game, the last game of the season against the Seattle Seahawks. It was a pretty boring game, but it was a super fun outing, and the fan atmosphere there is great. And I got to tell you, first of all, you know, one of the main things that people don't really appreciate, I think, about the Bay is just how integrated we could be, especially in our sports teams. And the tailgating experience back when the Raiders were in Oakland was great, and the tailgating experience when the 49ers were in San Francisco was great. And now it continues to still be pretty damn fantastic, even in Santa Clara. The parking situation there is crazy. They have an actual bona fide parking lot next to the stadium, but they have a bunch of other parking lots throughout the stadium. And some of those parking lots allow tailgating and some of them don't. So that's something to be on the lookout for. If you go to the Levi Stadium website, they have a map of all the parking lots, so you can see where all the parking lots are if you decide to rent a car when you come to the Bay and figure out, and for the Super Bowl. Okay, so the secret mission is to try and be as close as you can to the freeway. You're better off walking a long way to get into the stadium than being closer to the stadium and parking. So, and the reason for that is getting in and out of there, because there are so many different parking lots. I don't know, there's like 20 of them. I don't know, there's a lot of them. Because there's so many parking lots, the traffic getting on and off the two freeways that are near the stadium, 237 and 101, is just a nightmare. It's notorious. So you definitely want to try to park as close as you can to the stadium, and that looks to me like lot A or lot 8 rather, or 4. Now I will say, when we went, getting in and out of there was not something. I don't remember getting out because I had too much to drink, so I don't remember getting out. But getting in there wasn't too bad. We did have to walk a ways because we parked in one lot and then had to walk over to the lot where the tailgating was. So the tailgating was in this lot 2, between like all of these office buildings, which is kind of weird. There's an office park there, and then they basically, I guess, rent out the parking lot on Sundays for stadium seating, and it's a regular part of the parking system for 49ers games. And so we parked there, and it was this amazing experience. Like there's no one type of fan in the Bay Area of these football teams. So at this particular tailgate, we have black, white, Latino, Asian, and so like we were all in line to get homemade pho, and then after we got homemade pho, then we got tacos. It was awesome. There was probably some ribs and greens somewhere. I just didn't have any, but it was great, and the pho was delicious, and the fan atmosphere was fantastic. And then we had to do I probably got my 10,000 steps in that day. I'll just be honest with you, because then we had to walk through the other parking lot to get to the stadium itself. And so, insofar as Levi Stadium goes, the energy of that ballpark is great. It's not as nice as some of the other new stadiums. Certainly it's no AT&T or Mercedes Field where the Falcons play, but it's a pretty nice new stadium. I actually I like Soldier Field too a little better, even though that one's also a super long walk to get to the stadium. But I will say this: the energy is real, the atmosphere is real. We obviously saw good football, a good defensive football. There wasn't a lot of offense happening, and so it's a really great football experience. And I definitely, if you're gonna go, it's one of those things that when you go, you're gonna worry about your parking first and try to get some people to tailgate with. I'm not sure exactly how that works for the Super Bowl. Like, there's so many events that go on for the Super Bowl, but trying to get in there and going into the stadium, the concession lines, they're not bad. They move relatively quickly. They're all like single queue lines, which I think is definitely the better way to do it. Back in the day when they played at Candlestick, the lines was always a place where people lost so much of game time, which is like waiting around in line, waiting for your chance to get food and drinks. And so that doesn't really happen here. That wasn't bad at all.
See the world one game at a time. Travel, sports, dignity. From city streets to stadium seats. This is A Gentleman's Guide to Awesome.